What's going on, guys? John Shea here from the No Shame Income Vlog, and today I wanted to do really a face-to-face video kind of talking about my experience and why I got started with online marketing, internet marketing, I guess make money online, whatever you want to call it, why I got involved with all this stuff, and maybe give you guys some background on myself and why this was something I decided to start, really where it's brought me today in terms of my own business and my own life. The lifestyle that I'm able to live and the things that I'm able to do. So before we dive into today's video and I really talk about this and give you guys some background, I do want to definitely recommend if you throw me a thumbs up on the video. This is going to help my channel grow. It's going to allow me to continuously keep producing videos. The more engagement that I get, the more followers I get. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the video. Be sure to hit that bell notification. And if you have any questions for me about my journey, definitely feel free to leave me a comment and ask. I love to answer questions and help people as much as I can. So let's jump into today's video. I'm going to walk you guys through a little bit about why I got started. All right, so I wanted to kind of bring this back to when it really all started for me. You know, the biggest thing I found was when I was growing up, going through kind of the normal paces of life, right? Like you go to high school, you graduate from high school, you then go to college, and from there, right, what do? You go get a job, and then your life kind of begins. You're sort of out of school, and then you basically go get married, you have kids, and like you do the normal things that most people do, right? I always had this like kind of irking thing in the back of my mind going through a lot of the jobs that I was going through when I was in school, that I just didn't really feel like this was something that I enjoyed by any means. Like I absolutely hated it. And I know there were a lot of people that felt that same way, but they just felt very stuck, like that this was the only thing that they could do and there was no other answer. And in my case, I always felt like, you know, there had to be something better. There was always more opportunity and something bigger that I could be doing. And I remember even specifically working for some companies where I was literally working minimum wage. I think at one point, many years ago, this is probably now, God, over 10 years ago, even more than that, probably like 15 years ago at this point. I'm 34 years old. So when I got my first job, I think I was 18 or 19. And I remember working for a company called Filene's. They're actually no longer around. They got bought out by another company called Macy's. And what ended up happening was I actually was making $6.75 an hour. That was the minimum wage at the time. And I was like kind of a warehouse person. Like I would just go stock clothing on shelves and move like carts around with boxes for pretty much just restocking new product that was coming in all day. It was like the most mundane job. I probably literally didn't even need to know how to like speak English to be able to do this. It was that easy, right? You just take in boxes and you're constantly just stocking things on shelves, and that was all you did. And I just felt like I knew I had all these skills in my mind or things that I knew I could be doing, but I wasn't really quite sure what it was that I could actually do to go start making some serious money or getting out of my current situation. Eventually I finished college because I was doing this while at college, and I went and got what you would consider a real job, right? I went to all the people that I had graduated college with and I was like, you know, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? And I remember going to all these different people, and some of them had gone off and gotten some successful jobs, but other people had just stayed in their same positions. Like some guy was still working at the movie theater making minimum wage or like 10 bucks an hour or whatever it was, and really didn't take his skills from school and go apply them to his business. So I ended up actually finding someone that was working in a job in tech support, and I had gone to both high school and college to learn all about computers and IT and networking and all these different things. And I was always very much into computers. That was something really exciting for me. But I'd always wanted to like build computers for a living, and I just had realized over time that that wasn't something that was going to be very lucrative. Most jobs that were paying to do something like that, it was like 12 bucks an hour. So I decided to get into tech support, which was basically doing high-end software support for a very large enterprise piece of software. And I got this through one of the guys that I graduated college with. And I ended up working this job for about a year, and I thought I was in a great position. I had even worked another salary job before that, and it was basically one of those things where I still just felt like I wasn't going anywhere. Even though I was making over $40,000 a year, and at the time I was able to support my lifestyle habits and still like buy video games or go out and do things and go to restaurants and all the things that I wanted to do, I just didn't like the fact that I was here at this job every single day for like the bulk of my week, right? And I always thought to myself, you know, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. And eventually I got kind of tied into the whole multi-level marketing thing. I did that for a couple of years through a fitness company. And I just found it to be very, I don't know, impersonal. Like you're constantly going out and trying to find people, and you know at the end of the day you're trying to sell them something, and in most cases they don't even want what you are trying to sell them, and you are basically trying to sell them really overpriced products, and it's just all this stuff that I didn't really like, but it kind of allowed me to get an introduction to this world of online marketing and you know what it's like to go out there and try to sell and network and do all these different things, right? So eventually one of the guys that was in that fitness company actually started talking about the idea of having a blog on the internet and being able to make money with that blog. And when I kind of came up with that whole, I guess, introduced to that idea, I ended up just getting really hooked on the idea. I was super excited by it. The idea of, I guess, just being able to put something out there on the internet and then make money from it was extremely exciting to me. And it got me really motivated to figure out, you know, how are people doing this? So I ended up that first year, I got tied into another multi-level marketing company by the name of Empower Network. And this was late 2012, it was about December. And I ended up basically just going on this sort of, I guess you could call it like a rampage of buying different products, learning different things, going on internet marketing forums, and pretty much what ended up happening is I just became insanely overwhelmed with information and different things that I could be doing. So I sort of went on this crazy journey of just trying to do a million different things at once. And this actually continued for many years. And in some cases I would stop and really focus on certain things. And ultimately it ended up being a scenario where a lot of those things I was working on just weren't making me a lot of money. But throughout all this, I was learning a lot of things. I was having failures occur, I was having some successes, I was figuring these things out, and I had to go through a lot of that pain to basically figure out what is actually working, what are the things that I want to be doing, and what is it that I'm actually good at, right? One of the things that I first started out doing was podcasting. I actually started a podcast, and I went out and I interviewed successful internet marketers. And I thought it was really cool because I could go out and interview these people that were having mass amounts of success, like people like Pat Flynn of smartpassiveincome.com, who is insanely successful, making like literally thousands and thousands of dollars a month from his online blog and his own podcast and all these different things. And eventually I did that podcast for quite some time. I ended up doing a business partnership with one of the people I interviewed, and I eventually made my first $1,000 a day online, basically selling SEO services through a partnership that I formed. So ultimately the podcast didn't actually make me money, but the business partnerships and the people that I was able to meet through that podcast allowed me to get to a much bigger place in my internet marketing journey, right? So eventually, as time went on, what I started to realize was that a lot of people were constantly just selling something, right? So if I continue to just go out there and buy this course and buy that course and buy this software and buy that, you know, all these different things, and I was constantly just consuming information, buying things, and, you know, just doing that over and over. And it was like literally this never-ending cycle. And it still is for a lot of people. And eventually for me, I was like, you know what? Everyone is literally making money by selling stuff, and they're just selling something, whether or not it's an online course or a software or a service or whatever it is, they're selling something. So I said to myself, I have to start selling something too. And for me, I decided, why don't I start selling online courses? I wasn't really that good on video. In fact, I'll probably do kind of a review video of me going back and watching one of my first internet marketing videos that I ever made, but I was not good. I didn't sound very confident on camera. I was very like boring to listen to, just very not, just was not good on camera whatsoever. And even still, I'm probably not as good as I could be. But it was something that I knew if I spent some time working at it and started to create these courses and just make improvements along the way, you know, whether or not it was like the demeanor of how I present the videos, if it was like the quality of the content that I was putting out, everything that I knew I could do, I just started putting more and more out there about all the things that I was learning. You know, one of the first courses I made was how I built an Amazon affiliate site, showing other people how to go and build Amazon affiliate sites as well. And even to this day, that course still makes me money each and every month. And I built it now over 5 years ago. So I wanted to go out there and spend a lot of my time and energy on assets and projects that I knew could reap rewards later on down the road, right? If I spent like a weekend building this online course, I knew I wanted it to be something that somebody could be watching 5 years from now and still be learning from me and getting that benefit to go and do that thing that I was teaching them. So I actually went on this pretty big journey with online courses, and I actually started out with Udemy, and eventually a few years ago was able to quit my full-time job. I was working at a digital agency. I was able to quit my full-time job and basically just go full time with online courses. And I even built my own software tool. I did a lot of things that I was able to basically now go out and say, hey, I'm now self-employed. I can literally go out there and have the freedom to do what I want to do. So where this all kind of concluded, and I know there's a lot here, my story is quite long, so I don't want to overwhelm you guys with all the nitty-gritty details. But the sum of it up was that the biggest things I learned and why I wanted to get involved with this was I knew I wanted to first off help people because I get enjoyment out of that, and seeing someone have success was something that I've done and being able to teach that to them. Second off, I wanted to be able to have an opportunity where I'd have a lot more freedom in my life. It wasn't necessarily about money, because I noticed after working for lots of companies and working with different people and seeing other entrepreneurs out there that I didn't really want to have like an office. I didn't want to have employees. I didn't want to have to rely on someone telling me what to do. And I just really wanted to have that freedom to choose what to do and whenever I want, right? So like I'm recording this video right now. I'm looking at the clock on my computer. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon, right? It's a really sunny day. I've got some nice sunlight coming in. If I wanted to, after recording this video, I could literally just go like take a bike ride right now, or I could go drive to like an arcade and play video games, or I could chill out at my computer here and just start playing video games with random people on the internet if I wanted to. And I have the freedom to make that decision because of the fact that I put so much time and energy over the last 5-6 years into my internet marketing journey and all the things that I've been learning over this time. So where I would leave this for you guys is kind of lesson one would be, think about what is one thing that you can sell to someone. Are you gonna sell digital marketing services to clients? Are you gonna go out there and sell courses? Are you gonna create your own software and then sell that? You know, you have to think about something that you're gonna be selling, regardless of what you do. Has to be something that you're gonna be able to go out there and sell to someone. Because otherwise you're just gonna be consuming information, buying softwares, buying different things, and that's not really gonna allow you to quit your job or get out of the current position that you're in. The second thing would be to focus on one thing. And this is something that I've had a lot of struggles with myself. I still do. I even just picked up a book that I already had a copy of it, but it's called Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. And I highly recommend that book. Go pick up that book, or the book like The One Thing, and figure out like what is that one thing that you're gonna work on. Right now for me, the things that I'm working on are YouTube, and I'm currently trying to promote a single online course through a webinar that I put a lot of time and energy into. So not only have I put a lot of energy into the product that I created, but also into this webinar and this whole promotional piece of content that I've created. And I wanted to use YouTube as a means to drive people into that particular offer or opportunity. So I knew that if I spent all of my time on YouTube and combine that with a really good product, then I could eventually get this to a place where I could basically have a business that's working for me through all my YouTube content and the videos and people watching my stuff, and then going and buying something that I recommend to them based on the relationship I've built with them. So this is basically the current path that I've decided to go down. I do still work with some clients as well, which is nice recurring income, but I'm trying not to expand beyond that, right? I'm not like going off and doing this whole other thing, or like starting a Shopify store or whatever it is, right? Like I'm just simply focused on YouTube and getting this stuff going, so I don't get distracted by other things, and this will eventually be something that I know will be successful. Just to give you guys an example, when I first started on Udemy, I had 0 followers and 0 people following me, and now I have over 100,000 students. Now, just recently, I passed 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now, it feels a little bit daunting to think like how long it's gonna take me to get to 100,000 YouTube subscribers, but I can see every single day. I go to a website called Social Bleed, and I can actually see every day I get like 5 to 10 new subscribers. So it's literally growing each and every day. And I know that if I keep going, I keep doing new videos, whether or not it's at least 2 a week or maybe 3 a week has really been my goal. I'm eventually gonna get to a place where this is too gonna become something successful for me, and it's gonna turn out really well. So I wanted to at least give you guys some idea of my current thoughts on internet marketing, why I started with all this stuff, and hopefully it motivates you guys to do some of this too. I know for a lot of people that I've talked to, you know, I remember I went into the Microsoft store once and I started talking to one of the employees in there, and he was telling me how he's going through college and yada yada, and it's like, you tell them all these things and some people don't really like resonate it. Like they see that it's something really cool and that it's gonna take energy and hard work, but they're not willing to put themselves out there and do that hard work that's gonna be required to actually have success with this. I still, in a lot of cases, feel like I could have been a lot more successful had I done things a lot differently over the years. But because of those failures I made, I I think it's put me in a better place that I've basically gotten to experience some of the downfalls of internet marketing. And because of that, it's made me a better person, and it's allowed me to get to where I am now and just put me on a path to really more success as I move forward into the coming years. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, as I mentioned, I do have a masterclass that I have put a ton of time and energy into actually producing. I've actually redone the presentation, believe it or not, like 4 times now. And I'm really excited about what I have to offer in that presentation. So if you guys check out my link below, if you're looking to get started with internet marketing, you're basically someone that's saying, hey, I want to get involved with this. I want to have that freedom in my life. I don't want to have to go into a 9-to-5 job, sitting in traffic, doing those things. Then I highly recommend checking out my webinar. And again, let me know if you have any questions, any comments. And again, thank you for watching my channel, and I hope you found this video to be helpful.